Good evening, everybody. I'm Mary O'Connor with the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health and the Alaskan Aviation Safety Foundation. Thank you to Alaska Public Media for allowing us to bring you Hangar Flying. This evening, we are honored to have back on our show Ms. Kristi Warden. She's the Deputy Division Manager, Airports Division of the Federal Aviation Administration's Alaska region. Kristi, welcome back to Hangar Flying.
Thank you, Mary. Good to be here. Thanks.
On our last program, we talked about what you did at the FAA. Now I'd like to talk a little bit about the who and why of what you do. So how long have you been with the FAA?
I've been with the FAA coming up on the end of 9 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what's your background?
My background is heavy aviation, as you would expect. I grew up on Air Force bases. So in the early 1970s, my family, we were based here at Elmendorf. I remember Elmendorf from 1971 to 1974. I remember the early days. My father was active duty Air Force, and so we did the tour. All of the old SAC, the Strategic Air Command bases. And so that was my very early exposure to aviation. After that, going through my education, high school, college, I went to the airport management route. I decided that I wanted to get into airport management. It was a logical extension of what I had seen growing up. And so I went to college, got an airport management degree, and then after college ended up managing a couple of airports. What we call primary commercial service airports in the upper Midwest and in the Rocky Mountain region. So that was a very good way, and that was a very interesting start to the career, straight out of college, managing a couple of airports. It'll make you well-rounded pretty quickly.
Oh, that. So you weren't working for the FAA, you were working directly for the airports.
I was working for a couple of airport sponsors, a couple of municipalities up in the upper Midwest. So then after managing a couple of airports, having grown up largely in the Midwest and seen the degradation of air service in the northern Rocky Mountain region, started up and co-founded what we call a commuter air carrier, a Part 135 air carrier, operating small and rural community routes, intrastate and interstate. And so did the 135 operation. Then following that operation, I went into aviation consulting. Airline management and airline planning consulting. That was fascinating, exposing all of my backgrounds from airport management and from the actual flight side to the folks who were considering doing what I had already done. So that was very interesting. After the aviation consulting side, then I joined FAA. And I joined initially in the Southwest region, in Fort Worth, Texas. Southwest region as an AIP, Airport Improvement Program specialist. Someone who was working very closely with our district offices, our development offices, to manage and lead our AIP funding and our passenger facility charge approvals within the 5-state region in the southwestern U.S. That was an outstanding way to start my federal career, and it really brought me full circle, having been an airport manager, then dealing with the FAA side of the table.
Well, as well as the carrier side.
Exactly.
You've known it from all three
Exactly.
sides.
And the whole passenger facility program and I go way back from many different sides. So that was a great start to a federal career. Then I spent some time focusing intently on what we call large hub operations, airports in the Houston area. Helping FAA from a strategic, from a collaborative internal and external perspective, as a strategic perspective as a program manager to manage all of the airport and other projects and initiatives going on in this large metropolitan area. Then, not too long ago, an opportunity arose to come up here to return to my Alaska roots and come back up to the Alaskan region as the Deputy Division Manager. And I was very honored and really it was a wonderful opportunity to be selected, which is where I am now.
So you've come full circle.
Yes.
That's great. I have to ask, do you need to be a pilot to do what you do?
You don't. I am an old private pilot. I am not current, haven't been current for a long time, but I'm one of those older private pilots, and no, you don't need to be. I think it helps with perspective, especially in small and rural communities, particularly in Alaska. I think it's very helpful, but many of my peers, many of the folks with whom I work professionally are not pilots. especially a number of women and men who choose to go into the management, into the business side, into the engineering side. And those are all very successful, very prosperous opportunities in aviation.
I think it's great to point out that there are a lot of opportunities in aviation besides just piloting. So you've been a great example. Thank you so much for being here. You're involved with the safe operations of aviation in Alaska, and this was a great opportunity to hear about what you do, although you're not always at the forefront and obvious
Thank you.
out there every day, but
Thank
we
you.
know that you're working.
Well, we appreciate that. Thanks, Mary.
So thank you for being here. It's been a real pleasure having you on the show.
All right. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this program was brought to you by the Alaskan Aviation Safety Foundation and Alaska Public Media. Thank you for watching, and until next time, fly safely.